All the processes of meditation are designed to bring you into the present. Often, people want to know what they will gain from meditation before they start. In other words, what is the result of meditation? It's worth noting that the question that arises in their mind is a form of worrying about the future because meditation is something to be done in the present, but its result always comes in the future. This is how our mind is often entangled in worries about the future or concerns about the past. Meditation draws our mind and intellect from the future and the past, bringing it into the present. When our mind experiences the present, it truly experiences joy. If one were to sum up a person's entire life in 2 words, they would be happiness and suffering. This joy and suffering together create a cycle. They form a wheel, making a sphere, and a wheel in such a way that a person keeps rotating in that wheel throughout life. While moving in that wheel, sometimes by surpassing suffering, one reaches joy. However, at that time, one does not realize that the sphere of joy will also rotate and bring them back to suffering. Caught in this cycle, a person's entire life passes. But if you understand this cycle once, that joy and suffering are 2 sides of the same sphere, whether we start with joy or with suffering, ultimately, we will end up at the other end. If our mind accepts this fact, then only you will start thinking about getting out of this cycle, and the only way out is through meditation, because happiness and sadness are always connected to the past and future, and meditation makes us experience the joy of the present moment. The story I'm about to tell you today will give you a glimpse of the joy of the present moment, taking you out of the cycle of happiness and sadness. Before you get lost in this story, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Once a young man went to Buddha and said, "Can you answer a question for me?" Buddha smiled and said, "Ask what you want to ask." Then the young man said, "Buddha, I'm not too old yet, but I am very troubled, very unhappy. I want to know from you that if there is so much sorrow in my life right now, will there be more sorrows in my life? There is no way to get rid of sorrows." Hearing this, Buddha says, "Where are your sorrows? I can't see them." Upon hearing this, the young man says, "Buddha, the sorrow is within me. It is inside me. How will you see it?" Hearing this, Buddha asks the young man, "Can you see your sorrows?" The young man says, "Yes, Buddha, I can see my sorrows very well." Then Buddha asks, "What is the root of these sorrows?" The discussion between Buddha and the young man continues when suddenly a monk rushes in. The monk whispers something in the ear of Buddha. After this, Buddha says to the young man, "Come, today I will take you to a place to show you the truth of life. There you don't have to say anything. Just listen quietly to everything. After that, you will find the answers to all your questions on your own." Saying this, the young man starts following Gautam Buddha. After walking for a while, Gautam Buddha enters a house. After entering the house, the young man and Tathagata Buddha see that many people are gathered there, and in the middle, an old man is lying on a cot. As soon as people see Buddha, they make way for him, and Buddha goes to the man lying on the cot and sits beside him. The young man also sits nearby. After that, the old man who was lying on the cot begins to speak. "Hey Buddha, I don't know how many breaths are left in my life. I don't know when I might receive a call from God's house. Buddha, before I die, I want to know the answers to some of my questions from you. I know that only you can provide me with the answers to those questions, which is why I have called you here." After that, the old man began to say that in his final moments, "I remember my childhood days and think about how those days were filled with the no desire to gain or the fear of losing anything. Remembering those childhood days brings tears to my eyes. I feel that at that time, my mind was so open and free. There was no desire to gain anything in the mind. Whatever the game we played, we would immerse ourselves in it all day. But after some time, as I grew older, people started telling me to move ahead in the race of life. My father often used to say to me, Why aren't you like your brother in studies? Why do you lag behind others? Hearing all this made me very restless. People used to taunt me a lot because I wasn't good at either sports or academics. Everyone wanted me to become someone else. Frustrated with their taunts, I resolved to achieve something in life. Frustrated with their taunts, I decided to achieve something in life. I made a promise to myself that I would become a successful person like my brother. To fulfill this promise, I started working day and night. In the beginning, there were many difficulties, a lot of disappointment, but I did not give up. I started my own business. After that, I realized the joy of achieving something. I was very happy because those who used to taunt me were now following me. Some time later, I got married to a wealthy merchant's daughter, and after that, it felt like my life had become heaven. A few years later, I had 2 sons, both very handsome and robust. Now, my heart was eager to do something for my children. I started earning even more wealth, and soon I became the biggest businessman in my city. Everything was going well, but who can predict the unforeseen? One day, unexpectedly, my wife left me. This caused me deep emotional pain. I stayed inside my house for many days. My sons encouraged me, saying that even though Mom is not here, what has happened cannot be undone. But we, your 2 sons, will always be with you. We will take care of you. You don't need to worry about anything. Gradually, I also began to understand my feelings. I realized that now I have to live without my beloved wife. So I connected my heart with my sons. My happiness was in their joy, and their sorrow brought me sorrow. After that, the elderly man said that in this cycle of life, he often felt the need to understand what life is, how to explore its depths. How can one know who they are and what they came to do in this world? Such questions constantly arose in his mind. I also learned about meditation techniques that claim to help understand the meaning of life. However, I always thought that first I should eliminate sorrows and troubles from my life. After that, I could focus my entire mind on meditation. But constantly engrossed in such thoughts, I never managed to meditate. As time passed and finally, after the sunset of life, I fell ill. Nevertheless, there was no lack in my life. My sons supported me. I achieved a lot in life, but now, when I look back, I realize that the days of my childhood were the most precious. The old man then asked Buddha, "I have only a few hours left as a guest in this world. I know that. But can you tell me a mantra through which I can peacefully pass away? Can you provide me with answers to all my questions and I can understand the true meaning of life before I die?" Hearing this, Buddha said that every person cherishes the days of childhood because at that time there are no worries, one is free, there is no greed in the mind, and one becomes engrossed in any activity with joy. However, as a person's age increases, their desires and ambitions grow day by day. Therefore, people often remain preoccupied with preparations for the future or keep thinking about the past, and one forgets to live in the present moment. If we look at a small child, there is no future or past for them. For them, only the present exists, and that's why they remain completely content in the present. You spent your entire life in your achievements, in your sons, your wife, and your future plans. You always kept thinking that first, I will organize my life, and then I will search for the truth. Then I will meditate. But we forget that tomorrow never comes. Future plans are never fulfilled. When one plan is fulfilled, our mind forms another plan, and this way the cycle of life continues. It keeps going, and now in the final moments when death is lying beside you, you realize that you haven't achieved anything in life. Now you feel that whatever you have done, you cannot take a single thing with you. If you had understood this at that time, death doesn't come at any specific time. It can come at any time. If your mind had understood this at that moment, you would have immediately immersed yourself in the search for meditation and truth. You would have tried to find something that could go with you, that could show you the path to a perfect death. The elderly man clasped his hands and said to Buddha, "I know that I have made mistakes. I haven't lived my life meaningfully, and I have deeply realized this, but I want to know from you again the same mantra. Can I not die with perfection now? Can I not get a glimpse of the truth now?" Hearing this, Buddha gently held the man's hand and said, "Now there remains only one mantra worth understanding, and that mantra is to leave everything you have gained or lost in life right here. Connect it with your mind. Cultivate the thought in your mind that you have learned a lot from your life. In reality, you have made significant progress in your life because you have discovered that nothing in life is meaningful, and realizing this is a great achievement. People live their entire lives and die without knowing the futility of life. Therefore, right now, drop all your questions from your mind and cultivate the thought that I have learned whatever was there to know in life, and now there is nothing left to know in life. When you fill yourself with this thought, you will attain death in a completely empty state, and in reality, this is the art of dying. Whatever we gained or lost in life was of this world, and it will remain here. Nothing will go with us. We will go empty, completely empty. Those who leave in a completely empty state actually have the flame of knowledge burning within them. And they can attain the state of nirvana in subsequent births, but before that you must understand the futility of this life. Here, obtaining anything or not has no significance. After this, for a long time, the man asked no questions and peacefully attained death with a smile. Then Buddha asked the young man, "Did you find answers to your questions? And if you did, what were the answers? Tell everyone." The young man replied, "Buddha, I have found answers to my questions." From the life cycle of this old man, I understand that nothing can be gained in life. Whether it is joy or sorrow, everything is left behind here. If we get stuck in this cycle, we will never know the truth. Therefore, joys and sorrows will continue in life. Along with that, as we continue, we must seek mindfulness. However, Buddha, I still have a lingering question in my mind, the answer to which is crucial for everyone to know. My question is that I am inspired to embark on the journey of meditation, but I don't know the path. How is meditation done? Hearing this, Buddha said, meditation is designed to bring you into the present. If you can complete any task with full presence and complete focus, you are meditating. But our focus wanders here and there. While doing your work, I'll share a small technique for staying in the present, where you can do your work and understand meditation. Whenever you are walking, sitting, just start paying attention to your breath. Notice where the breath is coming from, where it is going, which part of the nose it is touching. Just become the witness to it. Just keep watching it. Whether you are doing something, walking, sitting, eating, just focus on your breath, and while doing this, you will feel that your mind is taking you here and there with your thoughts. But after a while, you will again become aware that you need to focus on your breath, and your attention will come back to your breath. Gradually, when you start observing your thoughts, you will find that thoughts are dissolving, and within you there is only an empty space left. All questions and answers have dissolved. After that, Buddha said that breath happens in the present. It doesn't move into the future, nor does it travel into the past. It exists in the present, in the current moment. When you connect with your breath, you learn to focus on the present because the breath you are concentrating on is happening in the present. As you gradually proceed step by step, you will start to realize the essence of meditation on your own. Then, whatever you do, your full attention will be immersed in it. Begin where you are. Start capturing your breath from this very moment. How did you find the story? Share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you in the next story. Until then, take care and stay blissful.